100% confirmed. £50 million Guehi bid. Diaz exit shakes Liverpool squad. Hello and welcome to YNWE Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Liverpool are expected to make a fresh approach to sign Marc Guehi for around £50 million. Liverpool retain a concrete interest in signing Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guehi, according to reports, even though the Merseysiders are laser-focused on signing Alexander Isak. It says a lot that since Liverpool agreed a deal that could be worth a total of £78 million for Hugo Ekitike, the conversation very quickly moved on to reports of Isak being next on the agenda. Sporting director Richard Hughes has done a superb job in his second season in the role, and while Liverpool have spent nearly £300 million, they have also raised around £190 million in player sales at the same time. By selling Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen, the club generated a sum of £30 million plus £5 million add-ons which can be directed back into signing a new centre-back this summer, with the club particularly keen on Marc Guehi. There was interest in signing Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth, but Real Madrid convinced him to move to Spain instead. The situation has since worsened after Joe Gomez suffered an Achilles tendon injury. The Englishman has had rotten luck with injuries and, as things stand, seems set to be unable to be available reliably again this season. Liverpool are working behind the scenes to complete Guehi transfer, with fresh approach expected. According to an update from Football Insider, Liverpool are still working to facilitate a transfer for Marc Guehi to alleviate their centre-back problems. They report that Liverpool are still working in the background to land a deal for Guehi and are expected to make a fresh approach to Palace in the coming weeks. Palace are refusing to be bullied in transfer negotiations and will continue to demand around £50 million for Guehi. Liverpool need to sign Marc Guehi more than ever after Joe Gomez's injury. 2 days ago, the official Liverpool website reported that the centre-back would be returning to Merseyside to undergo treatment on an Achilles issue at the AXA training centre. On the issue, Arne Slot commented, "He was, of course, with us for the first part of the week, but he had some Achilles problems. We thought it was better to assess it back in England and for him to work on him to come back to the team, probably in more ideal circumstances for him, than be part of the group that every time goes out. So, we decided to let him go back to England. But we hope and expect to have him back soon." 3 Liverpool winners and losers from Luis Diaz's transfer to Bayern Munich, including Academy wonderkid. Luis Diaz's time at Liverpool is coming to an end, as his move to Bayern Munich is set to be finalized, pending a medical. The Reds are set to bank £65.5 million from the sale, a hefty profit on the £42.8 million fee, with add-ons included, that the club ended up paying Porto. With just 2 years left on his deal and contract talks at an impasse, it made sense for both Diaz and Liverpool to part ways. According to reports, the number 7 had wanted to depart the club last summer, amidst interest from Barcelona, but Liverpool wouldn't budge on their stance that he was not for sale, and he ended up being a vital cog in their Premier League winning season. A year later, the Colombian has finally been granted his wish, leaving implications for other parties involved in the deal. So let's take a look at 3 winners and losers from this transfer. Winners from Luis Diaz's Liverpool exit to Bayern Munich. Cody Gakpo. With Luis Diaz leaving Anfield, Cody Gakpo is now Liverpool's only recognised first-team left-winger, and that is certainly a prospect that will excite the forward. While players such as Florian Wirtz or Hugo Ekitike have been tipped to fill out wide, either as a natural wide player, with both preferring to be deployed in more central positions. The Dutchman made 42 appearances across all competitions last season, but 17 of those came from off the bench, and the departure of Diaz could see him receive more game time. Gakpo will be eyeing a link-up with Milos Kerkez on the left flank, and it could be a formidable partnership for Arne Slot. Rio Nguemaha. Rio Nguemaha has seemed to already be impressing Arne Slot, with the Liverpool head coach starting him in all 3 of Liverpool's preseason games so far. The 16-year-old, while inexperienced, has been exciting Reds fans across the summer, picking up a goal and an assist in just 135 minutes of football. The youngster, who primarily plays out on the left, will likely be behind Cody Gakpo in the pecking order, but at his age, any minutes at the Premier League level will be vital to his development. With the trust shown so far in the former Chelsea man, you can likely expect him to be in and around the first team a lot more this season. Richard Hughes. Last summer, Liverpool fans were not happy with Richard Hughes, as the club only forked out £12.5 million in a deal for Federico Chiesa. However, time would show that the sporting director was right to hold out on any wholesale changes to the squad, with Liverpool winning their 20th league title. Now, this summer the Scotsman has been proving how valuable an asset he is to the club, with the Reds spending close to £300 million so far on deals for Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez, Hugo Ekitike, and Jeremy Frimpong. But on the other side, Hughes has proven to be an excellent negotiator when it comes to selling. Liverpool, receiving £65.5 million for a player who wants to leave, has 2 years left on his deal, and shows no sign of contract talks progressing, is a major coup. While Luis Diaz has been a key man for the club since joining in 2022, the sale means focus can shift to younger targets, and a deal for Alexander Isak could now progress further. Losers from Luis Diaz's Liverpool exit to Bayern Munich. While Liverpool fans are excited about the prospect of Alexander Isak signing for them, they are also upset about one thing they will lose from Diaz's sale: his chant. The song created for the Colombian international quickly rose as one of the most popular songs sung amongst Liverpool fans and would often be chanted for minutes on end during games. With Diaz off to Germany, the song won't be heard as often in the ground, and that will be a major miss for fans. Luckily, the club has signed quite a few new players, so there is certainly room for newer songs to be created. Kingsley Coman. While Kingsley Coman may have been expecting his game time to increase with the exit of Leroy Sane to Galatasaray, he will not be any longer. Luis Diaz's arrival at Bayern Munich certainly puts a threat on the minutes Coman could see across the season. The Frenchman found himself more often than not on the bench of the Bundesliga champions, and he will likely find the same for the upcoming campaign. Newcastle United. Reports from reliable journalists have stated that once Luis Diaz has left, the Reds will ramp up their interest in Newcastle forward Alexander Isak. So far, a formal offer has yet to be received by the Tyneside club, but with the Swedish forward unsettled and wanting a move, the arrival of a bid could set things in motion for the player to leave St. James Park. Eddie Howe's side has struggled to get deals in the door, with players such as Mateus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and Hugo Ekitike preferring moves elsewhere, and Brentford playing hardball on target Yoane Wissa, so losing Isak will be a major blow. Isak now seems to be trying to force a move away, and if Liverpool send a British record transfer fee, as they are reported to be willing to do, they may find it hard to turn down. Alexander Isak. Liverpool have new £165 million transfer plan to sign Newcastle striker. Liverpool have devised a new £165 million plan to sign Alexander Isak this summer. The Reds confirmed their interest in the Newcastle striker earlier this month, expressing a willingness to open talks over a deal for around £120 million. Newcastle promptly told them that Isak is not for sale. However, Isak has now told Newcastle he wants to leave, which has prompted the Magpies to explore deals for Yoane Wissa and Benjamin Sesko. Liverpool are expected to launch their first formal bid for Isak this week, with the £65 million sale of Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich freeing up a significant chunk of the required transfer fee. Newcastle have reportedly in private set Isak's asking price at £150 million, though it remains to be seen if the striker's transfer request will lower that demand. Isak, arguably the best striker in the Premier League, is expected to cost a British record fee, with a fee of at least £130 million expected. Liverpool have already broken the British transfer record this summer with the £116 million arrival of Florian Wirtz. In any case, Arne Slot is reportedly prepared to sell 3 more players to fund a move for Isak. According to ESPN, Liverpool believe they can raise a further £100 million by selling 3 unwanted players. Darwin Núñez continues to attract interest from abroad, while Harvey Elliott is thought to be of interest to a number of Premier League clubs. Federico Chiesa, a disaster signing from last summer despite his £12.5 million cost, is also up for sale and could reportedly return to Italy. Liverpool make inquiry £4.17m rated wonderkid striker amid rival West Ham interest. Liverpool are still looking to add more options to their attack after signing Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool are keeping their interest in a new centre-forward open as they continue to work their way through this busy summer transfer window. The Reds have been far from shy when it's come to spending the cash. The Premier League champions are approaching the £300 million mark following their latest blockbuster signings of Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike. However, there is still business Liverpool plan to oversee before the transfer window slams shut. A new centre-back has become a top priority, while they remain on the market for options up front, despite the arrival of Ekitike. Liverpool's still searching for new attackers. While it's been a mission of Liverpool's to sign a new starting centre-forward, they remain on the market for multiple options to rotate throughout what is going to be a tense season. Darwin Núñez has struggled to establish himself as a regular starter under Arne Slot, while the club will forever miss the absence of Diogo Jota. His iconic number 20 has been retired across all levels of the club to immortalize his legacy. According to Football Insider, Liverpool are among several clubs who have made an inquiry about young Metz star Idrissa Gueye. The 18-year-old, described as one of the hottest properties in Europe, has a number of clubs chasing his signature at the moment. A number of English clubs have registered their interest alongside Liverpool, including West Ham, Crystal Palace, and newly promoted Premier League side Sunderland. The likes of Eintracht Frankfurt, who are now without Ekitike, Borussia Dortmund and Inter are also keeping tabs on Gueye. The Senegalese striker made 17 appearances for Metz in League Two last season and contributed 5 goals and an assist over that time. Latest Liverpool transfer news. While Liverpool are considering signing a rotational player and someone like Gueye, they remain heavily linked with Alexander Isak. Despite signing Ekitike for an initial £69 million, the Reds are surprisingly still keen on bringing Isak into the fold. Newcastle United are determined not to see him leave the club, but latest information has revealed Isak has communicated his desire to move away from the club. Isak did not travel as part of the squad ahead of the Magpies preseason tour, and while Newcastle have insisted it's down to an injury, a number of reports have claimed that the striker is considering an exit. Liverpool will need to fork out mega money to sign Isak though. With a £150 million figure widely reported, it will cost the Reds a new club and British record amount to bring the 25-year-old to Anfield. While Liverpool are currently in a strong PSR position, they are still looking at sales of their own that will help further balance the books. Luis Diaz is currently on the verge of signing for Bayern Munich, with a fee reportedly agreed between the two clubs and his medical booked in. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.